If you're a Canadian who's either retired or getting close to retirement, you're probably paying more tax than you need to. That's because many of you just don't have a planned out and coordinated tax strategy. I'm talking about using legitimate CRA-approved strategies that most Canadians either don't know about or aren't using properly. The Canadian tax system is complex, especially when you're dealing with multiple income sources in retirement. You've got CPP, OAS, maybe a pension, your RRSPs or RRIF, your TFSA, and possibly some non-registered investments and even some corporate accounts. Each of these gets taxed differently, and how you coordinate them can mean the difference between paying thousands more in tax than you need to, or keeping that money in your pocket. So today I'm going to walk through 5 strategies you can use in 2026 to legally reduce your tax bill in retirement. These aren't theoretical ideas, they are strategies I use with my clients every single day. Hi, I'm Stefano, certified financial planner professional and senior wealth advisor at Next Step Wealth Management with IPC Securities Corporation. I specialize in working with Canadians who are in retirement or within 5 to 10 years of retirement, and tax-efficient retirement planning is one of the most important things we focus on. If you'd like help in building a tax-efficient retirement income plan customized for your situation, click the link in the description to book a consultation with me. As always, if you find this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Part 1, maximize pension income splitting. Let's start with one of the most powerful tax strategies available to Canadian retirees, pension income splitting. This strategy can save couples thousands of dollars in every year, but a surprising number of Canadians don't understand how it applies to their situation or don't use it properly. Here's how it works. If you're receiving eligible pension income and you have a spouse or common law partner, you can allocate up to 50% of that pension income to your spouse for tax purposes. It doesn't mean the money actually goes to them. It just means that when you file your taxes, you can shift up to half of that income onto their tax return. So because Canada has a progressive tax system, the more income you have, the higher your marginal tax rate. So if one spouse has significantly more income than the other, splitting that income can move income from a higher tax bracket into lower tax brackets. Eligible pension income includes payments from a registered pension plan, and once you're 65 or older, it also includes RRIF withdrawals and certain annuity payments. Here's the mistake I see often. RSP withdrawals don't qualify for pension splitting, so be aware. But once you convert that RSP to a RRIF, those withdrawals do. Here's the strategy. If you're approaching retirement and one spouse has a much larger RSP than the other, consider converting to a RRIF earlier than 71. Those RRIF withdrawals become eligible for pension income splitting once you're 65, which can help balance income between spouses and reduce your household tax bill. And there's a bonus. The first $2,000 of eligible pension income qualifies for the pension income tax credit. So if one spouse has no pension income, splitting some of your RRIF income to them not only helps with the tax brackets, but it also allows them to claim that credit. Part 2, use your TFSA strategically. The tax-free savings account is one of the best tools Canadians have for tax-efficient retirement income, but a lot of people underutilize it. Here's what makes a TFSA so powerful. Any growth inside the account is completely tax-free, and any withdrawals you make are also tax-free. That means TFSA withdrawals don't count as income for tax purposes, they don't affect your OAS, and they don't push you into a higher tax bracket. So here's the strategy. If you have money in non-registered accounts generating taxable investment income, dividends, interest, capital gains, consider moving that money into your TFSA if you have contribution room and there isn't significant tax cost to dispose of your current asset. The contribution limit for 2026 is $7,000 per person. And if you haven't maxed out your TFSA in previous years, your unused contribution room carries forward. For someone with full eligibility and no previous contributions, you have $109,000 available room in 2026. Here's another strategy. If you're still working and contributing to your RSP, think about your long-term tax situation. If you're in a relatively low tax bracket now, but expect to be in a higher tax bracket in retirement, contributing to your TFSA instead of your RSP might make more sense. You don't get the upfront deduction, but you also don't pay tax on the withdrawal later. And here's something a lot of retirees miss. Your TFSA can be a great place to hold your emergency fund or money you might need in the short term. Because withdrawals are tax-free and don't affect government benefits, you can pull money out if you need it without any tax consequences whatsoever. The amount you withdraw gets added back to your contribution room in the following year, so you can put it back in. Part 3, manage OAS clawback. Old age security is a cornerstone of retirement income for many Canadians. But if your income gets too high, the government starts clawing it back. This is officially called the OAS recovery tax. and it kicks in once your net income exceeds a certain threshold. For 2026, that threshold is $95,323, and it gets indexed every year. Here's how the clawback works. For every dollar your income exceeds that threshold, you lose 15 cents of your OAS. And if your income gets high enough, about $154,708 for those aged 65 to 74, or about $160,647 for those 75 and over for the 2026 income year, your OAS can be clawed back entirely. So the strategy here is to manage your income to stay below the clawback threshold if possible, or at least minimize how much you're losing. For example, if you're in your early 60s and you're retired but haven't started your OAS yet, that could be a good time to draw down your RSP or RRIF more aggressively. You're not receiving OAS, so there's no clawback risk. And you're reducing the size of your RSP so that when you do start OAS and are forced to take RRIF minimums, your income is lower. Another strategy, use your TFSA to supplement your income instead of taking extra RRIF withdrawals. Because TFSA withdrawals don't count as income, they won't push you over the OAS clawback threshold. And if you're married, pension income splitting can help here too. By splitting RRIF income with your spouse, you can potentially keep both your individual incomes below the threshold and avoid the clawback altogether. Part 4, time your RSP to RRIF conversion. Most Canadians know they have to convert their RSP to a RRIF by the end of the year in which they turn 71. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you can convert earlier, and in some cases, that can be a smart tax strategy. Here's why timing matters. Once your RSP becomes a RRIF, you're required to take minimum withdrawals every year. Those withdrawals count as taxable income. But if you convert before 71, you gain more control over when and how much you withdraw, and you unlock the ability to do pension income splitting at age 65. So here's the strategy. If you are in your mid to late 60s, you have a large RSP, and your spouse has little to no pension income, consider converting part of your RSP to a RRIF. You don't have to convert the entire amount. You can do a partial conversion. This allows you to start splitting that RRIF income with your spouse and potentially reduce your household tax bill. Another consideration, if you're planning to delay CPP or OAS to maximize those benefits, converting to a RRIF earlier gives you a source of income to live on while you defer. And because RRIF income qualifies for pension income splitting and the pension income tax credit, it could be more tax efficient than just making RSP withdrawals. The key is to run the numbers based on your specific situation. This never is a one-size-fits-all strategy, but for the right person, early RRIF conversion can be a powerful tax planning tool. Part 5, optimize your withdrawal sequence. The order in which you withdraw from your different accounts in retirement can have a massive impact on how much tax you pay over your lifetime. This is called withdrawal sequencing, and it's one of the most overlooked parts of retirement tax planning. Here's the general principle. You want to draw from your accounts in a way that minimizes your lifetime tax bill and maximizes the after-tax income you have available to spend. For most Canadians, that means prioritizing non-registered accounts first, then RSPs or RRIFs, and TFSA last. Why? Because non-registered accounts are already generating taxable income, so you might as well spend that money first. Your RSP and RRIF are tax deferred, meaning you're going to pay tax on that money eventually. So it makes sense to draw on it strategically. And your TFSA grows completely tax-free. So you want to let that compound for as long as possible. But here's where it gets more nuanced. If you're in a low-income year, maybe you've retired early and haven't started CPP or OAS yet, that might be a good time to take larger RSP or RRIF withdrawals to fill up those lower tax brackets. Then once your income increases with government benefits, you can rely more on your TFSA for withdrawals. Another consideration, if you're going to face OAS clawback, it might make sense to use TFSA withdrawals to keep your income below the threshold instead of taking extra from your RRIF. The point is, there's no single right answer. Your withdrawal strategy needs to be customized based on your income sources, your tax brackets, and what you're trying to accomplish. But getting this right can save you tens of thousands of dollars in tax over your retirement. So let's recap the 5 strategies. Number 1, maximize pension income splitting to balance income between spouses. Number 2, use your TFSA strategically for tax-free growth and withdrawals. Number 3, manage OAS clawback by controlling your income. Number 4, time your RSP to RRIF conversion to unlock pension splitting and gain control. And number 5, optimize your withdrawal sequence to minimize lifetime taxes. These strategies work, but they require planning. You need to understand your income sources, know your tax brackets, and coordinate everything so it all works together. If you're a Canadian retiree or within 5 to 10 years of retirement and you want help building a tax-efficient retirement income plan customized for your situation, click the link in the description to book a consultation. We'll look at your investment management, your income sources, your goals, and work with you over the long run to map out a tax-efficient strategy that fits your situation. Let's take the next step.